Hi, I'm Math Guy Steve. Let's try solving this inequality. So when solving inequalities of this form, this is a polynomial inequality. We want to get 0 on one side, then factor the other side, and set each factor equal to 0. So we're pretending like it's an equal sign. That's how we're doing. Okay, pretend like it's an equal sign. But then once we do that, we'll say, okay, it's not an equal sign. So we'll put those numbers on the number line and then plug in test points in each region. Okay, so let's try it here. Let's try it here. Okay, so if we pretend it's an equal sign, we get 0 on one side. Got it. So that means add 21x squared to both sides. So 3x cubed. So we get 3x cubed plus 21x squared. Yeah, you can go ride your bike, man. Okay. Greater than 0. Get 0 on one side. Okay, got it. We're done there. Then factor the other side. Now here, it's two terms. So we factor out the GCF. Here they both have a 3x squared in common. So if I take a 3x squared out of each, what's left? Okay, that's x plus 7. Okay. So get 0 on one side, factor the other side. And again, we're pretending that this is an equal sign. So set each factor equal to 0. Okay, got it. So it would be 3x squared equals 0 and x plus 7 equals 0. Now we solve each of these separately. All right, so here we divide by 3, so x squared equals 0. Taking the square root, don't forget the plus or minus, all right? But we get x equals plus or minus the square root of 0, which is just 0. Okay, all right. And then subtracting 7 from both sides, we get x equals negative 7. But again, that was us pretending. Alas, it is not an equal sign, right? So we'll take those numbers, put them on a number line, plug in test points in each region, okay? Let's try it. All right, so this creates 3 different regions. Numbers less than negative 7, numbers between negative 7 and 0, and numbers bigger than 0. So let's plug in test points in each region. So say negative 8, okay. A number between negative 7 and 0, say negative 1, okay, that works. And then plug a number bigger than 0, say positive 1, okay, got it. We're plugging those into any of the inequalities and see if it's a true statement. The last inequality we had was 3x squared times x plus 7 greater than 0. So we're going to plug them in to that inequality, see if we get a true statement. Okay, so if I plug in negative 8, that's 3 times negative 8 squared times negative 8 plus 7. Is that greater than 0? That's what we're trying to see. All right, that gives me 3 times 64 times negative 1. Is that greater than 0? Well, that's 3 times 64 is, what, 192, okay, times negative 1. Is that bigger than 0? Well, that's a negative 192. That's not bigger than 0. Okay. So no, that one doesn't work. So numbers less than negative 7 don't work. Okay. Let's try some more. Let's try plugging in negative 1. Okay. I plug in negative 1. Let's see what we get. So for negative 1, that's... If I plug in negative 1, that's 3 times negative 1 squared times negative 1 plus 7. Is that greater than 0? Okay. Well, that's that just gives me 3 times 6. Is that greater than 0? Yep. 18 is greater than 0. Okay, got it. So that checks out. Got it. So the numbers between negative 7 and 0 work. What about numbers bigger than 0? So say, let's plug in our test point of 1. Okay, I'll plug in 1. That gives me 3 times 1 squared times 1 plus 7. Is that greater than 0? Well, that's just 3 times 8. Is that greater than 0? Yep. 24 is bigger than 0. Okay, so that one checks as well. So all the numbers between negative 7 and 0 work, okay? So all numbers between negative 7 and 0 work. And the numbers from 0 to bigger than 0, so 0 to infinity, those numbers work as well. Okay, got it. We want to put parentheses on it because there's no equal sign underneath the inequality. So we put parentheses on everything. So we're saying don't include 0. Okay, so put a parenthesis on 0 as well. All right. Because 0 will make it equal to 0, which is not greater than or equal to 0. So those would be the numbers that satisfy this inequality. So the whole interval or group or gang of numbers that satisfies this inequality are numbers between negative 7 and 0, numbers from 0 to infinity. Okay, so when solving these polynomial inequalities, again, pretend it's an equal sign. Get 0 on one side, factor the other side, set each factor equal to 0. But from there, then we'd say, okay, put those numbers on the number line, plug in test points in each region, and test or check. Okay, Nike step, check step. We're checking to see which inequality, which group of numbers satisfies the inequality, makes the inequality a true statement. Okay. All right, so always remember, math is everywhere. Sure, I'll ride with you as soon as I'm done, okay?
Oh, what?
Can I walk with you?
Oh, what?
Can I watch with you?
Yes.
Okay, yes, right? I'll watch you as soon as we're done the video, all right? All right.